having one of those days where no matter what I wear, or no matter how I do my hair, or my makeup, or lack of makeup, or whatever, I just don't feel sexy. Put on some sweats, tousled the hair, gave up a little. You know how it is. Hashtag relatable, but in a depressing way. Probably not the best time to shoot this video. Oh well, gonna go with it anyway. Hey everyone, so I am uncomfortable talking about sex. That's just the truth. I have always been uncomfortable talking about sex. I wish I wasn't, and a ton of my friends will talk openly about sex, and I'd never think that's weird. In fact, I listen curiously and intently when they do, and only ever chime in after several glasses of wine. But even then, it usually goes something like this. Ashley, what's your favorite sex position? Grace and I? We held hands once. Don't look at me, I'm not telling you. Clearly, I lack sex conversation maturity. And beyond my sexy talking friends, many of my favorite YouTubers and role models are super cool sex positive educators. Here are some of them. I love them. I especially like Shannon. Shan's like my fave right now. I envy their openness, their vulnerability, their security in their bodies and the things their bodies do. I'm so uncomfortable with my body. And I give them so much credit because when they tackle sexy subjects in the right way, it can 1. Encourage healthy, consensual, safe behavior, 2. Destigmatize sexuality, and 3. Lead to more pleasurable experiences. So basically, whenever anyone else talks about sex, I'm like, yay, way to be empowered! There's nothing to be ashamed of, you're so honest and vulnerable! But when it's my turn to open up about sex, I'm like, no, don't look at me! Don't look at me. This obviously conflicting paradigm has created some cognitive dissonance within me. For those unfamiliar, cognitive dissonance is mental stress or discomfort experienced by an individual who holds 2 or more contradictory beliefs, ideas, or values at the same time. Cognitive dissonance can also occur when a person performs an action that is contradictory to their beliefs, ideas, or values. Like how I think talking about sex is a good thing, but never do it. In order to alleviate/cope with cognitive dissonance, a person can do a few things. 1, they can create some kind of rationalization or explanation for why they hold their clashing beliefs. Mine was, maybe I just don't want to talk about sex. Maybe I'm too awkward in general. Maybe I have nothing to say. Maybe I'm not that sexual. Or 2, a person can alleviate their cognitive dissonance by changing their behavior so it aligns with their beliefs, values, and ideas. Because none of my rationalizations were true, I actually do want to talk about sex. I have some things to say. Also, clearly, I'm a sexual person because I have sex. Yep, it's out there. Been confirmed. I have sex. So in order to be a more authentic and vulnerable me, I'm going to make my ideals match my behavior by opening up about sex a little. Because my long-winded, insecure disclaimer took so long, this video is going to exist in 2 parts. And for the rest of the parts, I will be answering some hashtag sexy cues for Ash while reviewing a box of sex toys from our sponsor. And if you're curious about anything you see in this video, you can head over to adamandeva.com and use the discount code ASH to get 50% off your purchase, which is cool. Confession, I've never owned any sex toy before in my life. This is my first time. I'm kind of excited about it. All right, on to the vulnerable, sexy questions. Have you ever felt awkward doing something in bed, but discovered you actually liked it? Yes! For professional reasons, I don't want anything too sexual to be associated with Grace online, so when I talk about my sexual experiences, I'm just gonna say my partner, and you'll never know who I'm talking about, Grace or other partners or what, so that's just how it's gonna be. One time, a partner and I were having a romantic dinner, and we had dessert, which consisted of strawberries and chocolate sauce and whipped cream, and we started being flirty and putting it on each other and kissing it off and putting it in different places and kissing it off. And it started totally as a joke, just like a playful, cute, goofy teasing thing, but I really liked the sensation of kissing because kissing feels great, plus chocolate, which is also great. I thought it would be sticky and gross and icky, but you can kiss chocolate sauce off pretty clean, and it's just, it brings kissing to another level. And all the different tastes and textures and temperatures was really it stimulated the senses. It was really interesting and pleasurable and cool, and it kills me that my mom might watch this video and hear these things coming out of my mouth. But I don't want that to be weird because I have sex and there's nothing to be ashamed of, and like, strawberries and sex are good. Since we already got uncomfortable really fast, let's review a sex toy. I haven't looked at this box yet. Ooh, this is hemp seed 3-in-1 massage candle. Oh, there's a spoon. Why is there a spoon? I watched Hannah Winton and Elena Fender do an Adam and Eve video, and they ate the candle. I'm not gonna do that.
Well, don't eat the candle.
It's not edible.
No. Why did it come with cutlery?
Why is there a spoon though? That's so funny because I was just talking about food. It smells good. I don't think you're supposed to eat it. That's another thing I like. I kind of like to, not always, but sometimes make sex kind of a production. I'm okay with the hyper stupidly romantic things. Like I've set rose petals out before and like had candles all around, and I've done the like, I am clearly trying to seduce you now thing. I think that's fun. I know it's cheesy, but like, if anything, it just shows your partner you care. I don't know, like a candle doesn't actually turn me on, but the idea that my partner cared enough to put out a candle because they want to turn me on, that turns me on. Does that make sense? I'm gonna light this candle tonight. Do you find yourself more dominant or submissive? So I'm just gonna put it out there. I tend to be more submissive, but I'm also pretty verse. If I had to give it like a percentage, I'd say like 65-35. 35, I'll like go for it. But 65, I'm like, oh, take me. It also depends on what my partner likes though, because those percentages can shift depending on what they're into. I'm totally okay being more dominant if that's what they want, but if I can tell a partner really enjoys being dominant, well then that's all the better because I kind of like being submissive, so. And I think it's really important to talk about that stuff. I don't like to talk about it, obviously, with lots of people, but for some reason I am okay talking about it with partners. And I've asked partners like, do you want me to make the first move more? Or do you like to make the first move? Or like, how do you want this dynamic to exist? What makes you feel the most satisfied? On to toy number 2. Ooh, pleasure tape. Non-sticky bondage tape only sticks to itself. Huh. I like to play in bed. Sometimes I like to play more than I even like to feel good. I think the interaction, the dance, the foreplay is the best. I like it. So maybe I'll pleasure tape it up. I also just really like laughing in bed. Like obviously laughing with each other, not at each other. I think romantic, lovey laughter in bed is one of the sexiest things that exists. Cause you're just with each other and you're so loose and you're having a good time. That's what I am all about. Do you personally consider regular sexual intimacy part of your healthy romantic relationships? Yes and no, I'll be honest. I've been with partners before where we've connected in sexy ways consistently and regularly, and that felt great. But there's also been times where I've been with a partner and gone for a while without sex. And I think depending on how you're both feeling and how you're both communicating about it, that's okay. A ton of things can influence sexual attraction, drive, and desire. So I am on antidepressants, and sometimes my antidepressants really lowers my sex drive. Birth control can also really affect a person's libido, and outside stress and body image and just having the time can affect how much you and your partner have sex. And I don't know, I feel like we've been taught that you must have sex like X amount of times a week in order to be healthy, but I don't think that's true. I think sexuality is a fluid thing, and that includes the amount of sex you have. I think sometimes you just go through a phase where you might not have as much sex, and that's not like a sad thing or like a bad thing that you want to try to end fast. If you're okay with that, I think you're okay with that. Also, some people don't experience sexual attraction or sexual desire. Asexual people and asexual relationships exist, and they absolutely can and often are just as healthy, if not healthier, as any other relationship. You just have to talk to your partner. I dislike how there's like a shame that's associated with not having enough sex. I don't think it means there's something wrong with your relationship, or you're not sexy, or there's something wrong with your desires and attractions. If you both are truly content and still connecting in a lovey, romantic-y way if you want to, then where's the problem? However, I've certainly been in the situation where I would like to connect sexually more, and in that instance, I communicated with my partner and we talked about reasons we weren't connecting so much and what we should do to change that. And on the flip side, if you have a super high sex drive and you're in a place with your partner where you guys just go for it all the time, I think that's great too. I mean, as long as like you feel happy, healthy, empowered, and everything is consensual, I don't know. I hate the fact that we establish these rules and these norms when, in fact, sexual behavior, sexual desire, sexual attraction is so diverse, and the spectrum of what people like and dislike is so vast